Good morning. The name of the course is Introductory Macroeconomics. Course code ECB 1211. In last class, I will discuss Block 1. And Block 1 discuss about national income and various component under it. And today I will start Block 2. Block 2 discuss about various theories of employment, and within Block 2 there are 3 units are there. So unit 1 discuss about classical theories of employment. Unit 2 or unit 7 discuss about Keynesian theory of employment, and third unit discuss about principle of effective demand. So basically, in this block, we discuss about various types of employment, how employment generate, or how employment or output can be decided on the basis of various macroeconomic theories. So we go to first unit. Unit 1 discuss about classical theories of employment. So classical economists are the traditional economists, and we know Adam Smith. Adam Smith is known as father of economics, and he is the first person who organized this subject in a proper way. And classical economists like Pigou, Marshall, Adam Smith, they also given theories of employment in the society, how employment can be generated. But classical economics, they have a common basic idea about employment. Their employment theories are nearly same. Their employment theory based on certain assumptions like is free market economy. They assume that in market there should be less role of the government and the market should be open. And they also assume that in market always full employment exists. So full employment basically means there will not be any involuntary unemployment. So all people will have job or work in market, but wage rate will be vary. Wage rate will be changed, but every person should have some work or some task in market. And they also believe that wage and price are flexible. Classical economics, they think that wage cannot be fixed. Wage can be increased and wage can be decreased. And they also assume that by reducing wage, there will be more employment in the society. In classical theories of employment, one more important theory is sales law of employment or sales law about demand. So JB say that supply creates its own demand. So this is the basic theory in classical economics regarding creation of employment and demand. So JBC said that supply creates its own demand. It means in market always demand exists, and so duty of producer are to produce product and to supply those product in market. And the classical economists also assume that suppose in market if unemployment exists, they think that such unemployment is temporary. It is not permanent unemployment, and this is unemployment for very short period, and in long run, in long period, there will not be any unemployment. And they think this idea on basis of one important assumption, and that assumption is wage can be reduced. They think that if in market wages adjust, then automatically unemployment will be removed or unemployment will be reduced. By reducing wage, there will be more scope for creating employment in the society. So in this regard, I add one simple example Suppose if in any firm wage of one worker is 100 rupees per day, and in this case, if firm reduce wage to 50 rupees, then we can employ two workers. And if we reduce wage to 25 rupees, then we can employ four workers by using same amount of money, that is by using 100 rupees. So in this way, if wage rate decline, then there is more scope that in labor market there will be more employment of workers. Key principal and assumptions of classical theory of employment. The first is, I said previously, says law of market, and this theory said that when producer produce any product, then automatically it will generate income among people. So when it increase income, then automatically it will generate demand of that product in the market. They give one important assumption like that. During production time, producer use various factor of production like labor, they use land, they use capital also. So those people who supply labor, they can earn wage. Those people who supply land, they can earn rent, and those people who supply capital, they can earn interest. So in this way, automatically factor of production, they generate their own income, and so when they use their own income, they can also purchase product from market. It means when a producer produce any product, then automatically it will generate income among various factor of production like land, labor, capital, and those income will increase demand of product in the market. Then automatically producer can sell their product in the market because it generates income among people. And so they also assume that in market there will not be any overproduction. It means whatever good produced by producer, those products they can easily sell among people. And they also believe that whatever income generated by various factor of production in terms of wage, rent, interest, those whole income they will spend in the market. So classical economists think that there will not be any savings concept. It means whatever income generated by various factor of production, those income they spend for purchasing goods and services. So income equal to expenditure. There is no savings. Second principle is wage price flexibility. So they think that wage can be reduced or wage can be increased, and if unemployment occur, then when wage decline, then it will create more demand of labor, and then there will be more employment of labor. Then automatically economy will go towards full employment. Third principle is the full employment. So classical economics, they believe that in economy always full employment exists, and they think that there is no involuntary unemployment, and if involuntary unemployment exists, they think it is an abnormal situation, and this is special case, and such type of unemployment only happen in short run. In long run there will not be any unemployment. In long run there will be full employment. So they assume that in economy always full employment exists, and if any unemployment present, it is abnormal situation, special case, and it only happen in short run, and in long run there will not be any unemployment situation. Next principle or assumption is laissez-faire capitalism. Capitalist or classical economist, they basically believe that there will not be any government role in market, and in market or labor market there will be perfect competition always exist, and without any role of government, market will operate properly, and in market worker will be easily get job, and in market always there will be full employment. They think that in labor market there will not be any interfere from the government. Register means no interfere from government. Next one, principle is the savings investment equality. So classical economics, they also believe that in economy always savings equal to investment. It means whatever money people save, whole money they invest, and savings investment balance or equality always maintained by changing of rate of interest. So rate of interest is flexible and it always helpful for maintaining adjustment between savings and investment. So savings investment is same in the economy, and there is in the economy there is no role of the government. In economy always full employment exists. In economy wage and price is flexible, and whatever good produced by producer they can easily sell those products in the market. So there is no overproduction. So these are the basic assumption or the principle of classical economists regarding employment. Next slide and discuss about determination of employment. So how employment will be determined in economy as per the classical economics. So classical economics they believe on very simple concept. They think that employment in the economy will determine by two forces. One is supply of labor and second is the demand of labor. So where demand curve of labor and supply curve of labor intersect, by using this point you can easily determine employment level in the economy. They also think that output level in the economy also depends on production function. So production function here basically discuss relation between the output and input. So input here basically means land, labor, capital and enterprise. So total output in the economy depends on inputs, and employment and output in the economy determined by supply of labor and demand of labor. But later on, John Maynard Keynes, he criticized the concept of classical economics regarding employment, regarding wage determinations, and Keynes he gave argument that many assumptions of classical economists are not correct. Like classical economists, they think that wage can be reduced, but John Maynard Keynes said that no, wage cannot be reduced. Basically, wage always increase. Like classical economics assumption is always full employment exists in the economy, but John Maynard Keynes said that full employment not exist in the economy. Basically, in the economy, underemployment always exists, and full employment is a special case in the economy. And in economy, full employment basically not happen due to lack of investment. So this is the conflict between the classical economists with the John Maynard Keynes. And next, I draw one simple diagram which discuss about how employment determined by classical economists. So this is the diagram. So I said previously, so classical economists they believe that employment can be determined by demand of labor and supply of labor. So here in above that diagram, it shows that there is a demand curve. Demand curve is downward. It is T1 DL. This curve is downward slope, negative slope. Demand curve always negative slope downward, and supply curve of labor SL is the upward. So demand curve of labor is downward and supply curve of labor is upward, and they intersect in a point. This point basically indicates equilibrium point, and by equilibrium point, if we draw a vertical line, we identify the point L0. So L0 basically indicates the level of employment. So in the economy, total employment is OL0 and the real wage is OW0. And in the below diagram, by using production function, we can easily identify production or output level. So in below diagram, it indicated total employment in the economy is OL0, and the total output in the economy is OQ0. So in this way, by using demand curve of labor and supply curve of labor, we can easily identify the level of employment and level of output. And in this diagram, show that level of employment is OL0 and level of output is OQ0. So next we discuss about the concept of John Maynard Keynes regarding employment. So who is John Maynard Keynes? So John Maynard Keynes is an economist who introduced his concept of economics during the Great Recession period. So Great Recession period basically indicate the time period between First World War and Second World War. So basically First World War, it was started in 1919, it continued 4 and 5 years, and there was huge destruction happened in European countries and other countries due to First World War. And after First World War, recession started in Europe and other countries. And during that depression period, whatever classical economists said, those theories are not applicable during the Great Depression period. Or you can say during depression period, classical economics concept not applicable. So people raise question about the validity of classical economics concept, because during depression time, concept of classical economics basically not applicable. And thereafter, during that time, John Maynard Keynes, he introduced his new concept. And he was written a renowned book, Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. And this book was published in 1936. So basically during this period, you can say 1930, 35, 40, during this period is known as a period of Keynesian economist. And John Maynard Keynes basically introduced his theory, which theory is more applicable during the recession or depression period. So if any economy or if any country face a recession or depression, and then how the economy will be revival. So basically recession and depression basically means bad economic condition. Economic condition of any country goes downward. So during this period, whatever policy government will introduce. So John Maynard Keynes basically introduced such type of concept. So how economy will be revival during the depression period. But whatever policy suggested by classical economists, those policies basically not applicable during the depression period. So in this unit 2, I'll discuss two concepts. First one is the Keynesian theory of employment, and the second one is the criticism of Keynesian theory of employment. So how employment will be increased during depression period, or whatever policy government will introduce during depression period. So those things basically introduced by John Maynard Keynes. And his concept is totally different from concept of classical economists regarding employment. So there is huge gap between concept of John Maynard Keynes and classical economists regarding employment. So what's said by John Maynard Keynes regarding employment? So John Maynard Keynes introduced a new term, new concept, and it is known as a effective demand. So he said that effective demand is most important thing which control employment in the society or in the economy. They think that if effective demand increase, then employment will be increased, and if effective demand decrease, then employment also will be decreased. So effective demand is the most important parameter for creating employment in the society. But classical economics, they are not said about effective demand or demand concept. The concept of classical economics based on supply side, but concept of John Maynard Keynes based on demand side. So this is the basic difference regarding employment of both type of the economist. So what is effective demand? So effective demand refers to the total demand for goods and services in an economy at various levels of employment. So basically effective demand indicates total demand of goods and services in an economy during a period at various level of employment. It means what amount of goods and services all people, government uh, want to purchase or willing to purchase during a particular period. Extent of employment in a capitalist economy is connected to the level of effective demand. So effective demand directly linked with the employment. So relation is positive. It means if effective demand increase, then employment will increase, and if effective demand decrease, then employment will be decrease. Or in other way, we can say if effective demand increase, then unemployment will be declined, and if effective demand decrease, then unemployment will be increase. And he said that unemployment arises due to insufficient effective demand in the economy. So if in the economy demand of goods is less, then unemployment problem will be arise. The main logic he explained that when demand of good increase in society, or it is when effective demand of goods or services increase in the economy, then producer want to produce more goods and services for fulfilling demand of the people. And if producer produce more goods and services for fulfilling demand of people, then they require more worker. So demand of worker also increase. So when demand of goods increase, then producer want to produce more product, and when producer want to produce more product, then it is possible that they want to set up new factories. So demand of worker will be increased. And when demand of worker increase, then unemployment will be declined. So in this way, we think that when effective demand increase, then unemployment will be declined. He also think that when producer employ more worker, then purchasing power of worker also increase, and they also create more demand of goods in the market. So automatically in the market, demand of good increase, then production also increase, then employment of worker also increase. So unemployment level in the economy will be declined. And Keynes also introduced one important formula for measurement of effective demand. Like as he said it, effective demand equal to consumption. It means consumption of goods and services by household, C, plus investment. So investment here basically done by the business class people for increasing economic activity on the basis of future prospective business. They want to spend money for set up new factories, for set up new capital goods, for purchasing new machines, new technology, for purchasing new capital goods, plus government expenditure. Government expenditure means whatever money government spend for supplying capital goods or running various welfare measuring program. So all falls under G. So if we combine these three parameters, then it is known as a effective demand. So effective demand easily calculated by calculating household consumption of goods and services in terms of monetary value, plus investment done by business class people, plus whatever money government spend for supplying capital goods and supplying various welfare measuring or running various welfare measuring programs. So if you combine all these three parameters in terms of monetary value, then easily we can calculate the effective demand. He also said that effective demand, how can we measure? So he identified there are two concepts. By using these two concepts, or you can say by using two type of functions, we can easily measure the effective demand. First one is aggregate demand function, and second one is the aggregate supply function. And the aggregate demand function also known as a aggregate demand price and aggregate supply function known as aggregate supply price. So where both two is intersect, we can easily calculate the effective demand. So effective demand arises from the interaction of the aggregate demand function and the aggregate supply function. Then he also discuss what mean by the aggregate supply price and what mean by aggregate demand price. Aggregate supply price and aggregate demand price used to determine the equilibrium level of employment and income in the economy. So I said previously that the equilibrium level of employment and output in economy can be measured by using aggregate demand price and aggregate supply price. But classical economics, they say supply of labor and demand of labor. But Keynes said that in terms of aggregate supply price and aggregate demand price, we can easily determine the employment level in the economy. So what mean by aggregate supply price? So aggregate supply price is the minimum amount of total sales revenue that all entrepreneurs in an economy must expect to receive from the sale of output produced by using a specific number of workers. It means the minimum amount of revenue. The special thing in aggregate supply price is minimum amount of revenue entrepreneurs they must expect from selling whatever goods they produce by using workers. And the aggregate supply curve is always upward. Basically, supply curve in economics is always upward sloping, positive slope. So it is upward. And next, we discuss what mean by aggregate demand price. So, aggregate demand price is the total amount of money that all entrepreneurs expect to receive from the sale of output produced by a specific number of workers. So aggregate supply price means a total amount of money and producer entrepreneur they expect to receive after selling whatever goods and services they produce by using specific number of workers. So basic difference between aggregate demand price and aggregate supply price is aggregate supply price always indicate whatever minimum amount of money or revenue producer expect to receive from selling of goods and services. Minimum amount. But aggregate demand price not discuss minimum amount. Aggregate demand price is basically general concept. It discuss whatever money a producer are expected from selling goods and services, whatever they produce by using a specific number of workers. And he also said that aggregate demand price also depends on factors like consumption, investment, government expenditure, net export. Net export basically indicate the if we subtract value of export and value of import, whatever goods and services any country sell to other countries, it is export is value, and whatever goods and services any country import from other countries, if subtract them in terms of monetary value, so this is indicated net export. So by using this also we can easily measure the aggregate demand. Yes. So these are the diagram put forward by John Maynard Keynes for measurement of employment. So how employment can be generated. So in this diagram, if you look up carefully, then in this diagram, y-axis basically indicate the receipts, means monetary value. It indicate money basically indicate in the y-axis, and x-axis basically indicate value of or volume of employment. So basically employment discussed by the horizontal axis, or you can say x-axis, and y-axis basically indicate the money or monetary value. So in this diagram there are two curves are there. One is aggregate demand curve and second one is the aggregate supply curve. So aggregate demand curve, you see it first increase at increasing rate and second it increase at decreasing rate. So and aggregate supply curve you see it's below the curve. So it also increases always, and where aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve intersect. So in this diagram, this is the point E. It indicates the equilibrium point, and from equilibrium point we can easily identify the effective demand, and by identifying effective demand we can easily measure the level of employment. So aggregate demand curve AS, aggregate demand is AD curve, and aggregate supply curve is the AS curve. Both intersect in point E, and from point E we can identify the level of employment, and in this diagram it is the L1. First one you see that is indicate, and so ultimately total level of employment, suppose here it show OL1 if we consider E point. So employment is this, and it means there is not full employment, it is underemployment. So unemployment exists in the economy. So OL1 is not the full employment, or basically, or this indicate the LE point. You can say if you see the x-axis is indicated LE. So both curve aggregate demand and aggregate supply intersect in point E, and from point E if we draw a vertical line it touch x-axis, and this point is known as a L. You can say that E. Next we see, suppose in the economy demand of good increase. So when demand of goods increase, then producer will use more amount of inputs, more amount of land, more amount of capital, more amount of labor they employ for increasing production. So here you see that production, that the production curve also go upward, or demand curve also go upward. So in this diagram, it shows that aggregate demand curve is now go upward. So new demand curve is the AD1 dot curve, the above you see. So this is known as the AD1. But aggregate supply curve is same. Aggregate supply curve is same. So new equilibrium point is the E1. So E1 is the equilibrium point. Here E1 is the point where AD1 aggregate demand curve, new aggregate demand curve intersect with the aggregate supply curve E1. So from E1, if we draw a vertical line, it touch the x-axis. So this is known as the LF. So LF. So in this way, we identify, so previously how much employment is there, and currently if aggregate demand increase, then how much is there. So especially E1 indicate full employment situations, and E indicate you can say less than full employment situation. So full employment in the economy is OLF, but actual employment is OLE. So this gap between the LE with the LF, this gap indicate the unemployment. So so Keynes always said that unemployment will be declined when aggregate demand will be increased, and aggregate demand will be increased when there will be more investment in the economy. When investment is more, then purchasing power or income level of people also will be increased. Then demand of goods will be increased, and when demand of goods increase, then producer produce more goods. Then there is more demand of worker. Then employment level will be increased. So in this way. But in this diagram, one special thing is regarding the shape of aggregate supply curve. We saw that after E1 point, aggregate supply curve is totally vertical, totally upward, vertical line. AS is the vertical, but before E1 point, it is the upward. It indicates that E1 indicate the full employment level, full employment level. So no unutilized inputs are left. So after E1 point, if demand of goods and services increase, then only price of goods will be increased. It is not possible to producer to supply more output because whatever raw material present, all are utilized. There is no excess raw material. There is no unutilized raw material. So in this case, production are possible. So it means if economy reach full employment level, in this case, if demand of good increase, production cannot be increased. So in this case, price of good only will be increased. So this is a simple diagram. Basically discuss about determination of employment by using the effective demand. The main concept of Keynes is employment can be determined by aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Where aggregate demand and aggregate supply are intersect. Basically, this point you identify, it indicates the equilibrium point, and from equilibrium point, we can easily identify the level of employment. And employment level will be increased if demand of good increase. But if economy reach full employment level, then after reaching full employment level, if demand increase, then production will not be increased. And the special concept of John Maynard Keynes is full employment in economy is a abnormal situation. It basically not happen. Full employment not happen in the economy. In the economy, always there are under full employment level. So full employment not basically found in economy. So in economy, we basically found under full employment situation. So whatever we discuss from previous diagram, some points I written here, like is Keynes emphasized that full employment is not automatically achieved in a capitalist economy. So this is the basic difference between concept of John Maynard Keynes, the classical economist, where classical economists think that full employment always exists in the economy and automatically it will happen. There is no role of the government. Automatically, by market forces, full employment will be reached in the economy. But Keynes said that full employment will not reach automatically. If full employment reach, then there should be special role of the government from investment. But he said that full employment is not a real situation. Second point said that economy may settle at an underemployment equilibrium. So Keynes said that in economy always underemployment situation exists. Full employment basically not exist in the economy. He advocated for government intervention or government role to stimulate aggregate demand. Stimulate means increasing. He said that if government want to increase aggregate demand, then there should be some role of the government in terms of investment of money. So government investment always encourage for increasing aggregate demand, and aggregate demand when increase, then automatically employment also increase in the economy. And I said previously that the Keynes prepared his theory during the Great Recession or Depression period. So his theory is more applicable to deal with the recession or depression period. During recession period, economy go downward, and Keynes think that during this period, private sector will not invest money, because private sector invest money when there is better future prospect of business in the economy. But during recession and depression time, there is no future better concept of business situation. So in this case, government sector should come forward, and government sector or government will invest money, and it will increase aggregate demand in the economy, and automatically employment in the economy will be increased. He advocated for government intervention to stimulate aggregate demand. This expenditure generate a multiplier effect leading to increase in income, output and employment. So multiplier concept is concept specially introduced by John Maynard Keynes. It's a new concept. So multiplier effect basically discuss that when investment done in an economy or when investment increase in an economy, then what will be the effect of investment on employment and output generation in the economy. So it means effect of investment on employment and output in the economy. It means the multiplier effect. So multiplier effect said it. So whatever money government spend in terms of investment, and then whatever employment and output create, if we convert this in terms of monetary value, it is more higher than whatever investment done by the government. So it is known as a multiplier effect. For example, if we said it, suppose government invest 1 crore rupees and in the economy, then whatever production increase in the economy due to this investment 1 crore, suppose in the economy whatever the output increase, its value is the 2 crore. It means government invest 1 crore and output increase more faster. Suppose output value is the 2 crore. So it is positive impact, and multiplier always have positive impact. And multiplier always have positive impact on income, output, and employment. It means when government invest money, it always increase income, output, and employment. It is known as a multiplier effect. So next we come to criticism of Keynesian theory of employment. So many economists criticize the concept of John Maynard Keynes regarding employment. Some people say that John Maynard Keynes, he excessively give more focus on government investment or government expenditure. And if government spend more money, then automatically in future it will lead or it will increase inflation in the economy, and market structure will be disturbed because interfere from the government. So this is the basic you can say argument against Keynesian theory, that Keynesian theory give more focus on government expenditure. Second one is Keynes always think about short run. Basically, time period in economics can be divided in short run period and long run period. Keynes always believe on short period, short run period, short durations. And Keynes said that what will be happen in long run, we do not know, because in long run we all will be dying. So we all will then be alive in long run. So what will be impact, we will not see. So Keynesian theory only based on short run theory. So this is the one limitation, that the Keynesian theory not discuss what will be happen in long run, because Keynes not think about the long run or long term situation. His theory only based on short term or short period situation. Third one is some people think that if there is more role of government regarding expenditure, regarding investment, it will discourage private sector, because if government spend more money, or if government change rate of interest, or if government look after more the growth of economy, growth of market, then it will discourage investment of private sector. So this is known as a crowd of private investment. It means private investment will be declined. So this is one important limitation, that the Keynes always encourage government investment, he not encourage for private investment, because I said previously Keynesian theory based on a recession period, and we know that in recession period private sector will not invest money, only government sector will more encourage for investment money, because government not look after profit, government always look after the social welfare, but private sector always look after the profit generation. And so in this case, during recession time, there is no scope for earning profit in future, but the government not look after about the profit, government always look after about social welfare. Next, some people make one criticism against Keynes, that Keynesian theory basically based on the demand side factors. and Keynes neglect the supply side factor. Basically, the classical economists and their theories based on supply side factors. They think about from the supply side in the economy, but Keynes always think from the demand side of the economy. And I said previously about the chess theory, like employment, the classical theory. Like he said it, supply creates its own demand. So he looked after from the supply side. But Keynes said just opposite. He said that demand creates its own supply. So if there is demand of any product in the market, then automatically supply will be generated. So some people criticize in such a way that Keynes give more importance on demand side factors. He not discuss about the supply side factors. Last limitation I put here. Keynesian theory is less effective during globalization period. Currently, the economy of one country is more interconnected with the global economy of the other countries. So in this, various factor of productions like labor, capital, technology, overall moving fastly between countries. So if globalization concept is expand and if global economies are more interconnected, then Keynesian policy will be less effective. Less effective. So these are the basic limitations or criticism people done about the Keynesian theories. So in this way, I am able to complete the unit 2. So unit 2 basically discuss about the employment theory of Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, and first unit discuss about the employment theory of classical economics. Next unit is very small unit. So it is unit 3. Basically discuss about the principle of effective. In previous unit also I discussed about the effective demand. What mean by effective demand? How it can be determined? I discuss also draw the diagram. So in this unit, basically I will discuss principles of effective demand, meaning of effective demand. So what are the core concept of basically in effective demand? So what mean by effective demand? So effective demand is the combined total of all expenditures that households, farm, government, and international buyer are both willing and financially able to make at a given price level over a specific time frame. It basically means whatever expenditure done by various sector of the economy. It may be expenditure done by the household, common people, expenditure done by the farms, industries, expenditure done by the government, expenditure done by the international buyers means you can say through import, export. So if we combine all those expenditure together in terms of monetary value in a particular time, so it is known as a effective demand. And effective demand, if you see there are two important components present under effective demand. So this is the aggregate consumption demand and second one is the aggregate investment. So basically aggregate consumption demand discuss about expenditure on consumer goods and services. Basically the expenditure done by the household, farm, government and international buyers. So whatever expenditure they done, if you combine all those things, it is known as the aggregate consumption demand. And second one is the aggregate investment demand. So it basically discuss about the capital goods by business and public authority. It means whatever capital goods produce or create demand by business and public authority. So capital goods are those goods through which people or business class people or industrialists, entrepreneurs, they are able to earn income. So you can say those are the capital goods. Like you can say various machines, technology, infrastructure of industry, all falls under the capital goods because capital goods always generate in the future income. And There is one simple formula I said previously for measurement of the effective demand. So this formula is the effective demand equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So C basically means consumption expenditure, I means investment, and G means the government expenditure, X means export, and M means import. So C means consumption done by the household, I means investment done by the business class people, G means expenditure done by government for supplying public goods and running various social welfare programs, export volume in terms of market value. So it's the X. X means export means whatever goods and services any country sell in other countries. So it is basically export. So export, any government can earn foreign currency. So this value will be considered. And the import basically means goods and services purchased by any country from other countries. So in this case, that country will pay money in terms of foreign currency. So we just subtract these two. So it is also known as a net export. So its value may be positive or its value may be negative. If X is higher than M or X is greater than M, so you can say net export is positive. And if X is less than M, so you can say net export is negative. Basically in developed country, rich country, so net export is always positive. And in developing or poor countries, so generally we found that net export is negative. So import bill is higher than export revenue in developing or poor countries. So this is the common effect. But it not happen in all developing countries. But majority of developing countries, they have negative net export. Significance of concept of John Maynard Keynes. So some points I written here. What is the importance and significance of John Maynard Keynes? First one is John Maynard Keynes introduced a new concept regarding employment. So how employment in the economy will be increased. And he said that aggregate demand or effective demand is most important factor for increasing demand of worker in the society. He said that when aggregate demand or effective demand increase, then production also will be increased in the economy, and when production increase, then demand of worker increase, so unemployment level in the society will be decline. Influence of business expectations. So Keynes had this concept that investment is more important for development of any economy. Investment is more important for increasing employment level in any economy. But he also identified that during recession time, or if there is a bad future revenue concept of any industry, then industrialists will not invest money. Or in simple term, if we say that during recession time, while economy go downward, there is no good prospect of business in future. So during this period, industrialists will not invest money, and so government should look after investment of money during the recession time. So Keynes say that business expectation is more important, and it always influences industrialists to invest money, because I said previously industrialists always they want to earn profit. So this is the main objective for investment. So if industrialist or entrepreneur, they assume that in future there is more return from investment because there is good business prospect in future, then they want to invest money. And if they think that in future there is not good prospect of business, in this case they do not want to invest money. They think that if we invest money, then we will face loss. Then why we invest money? So they will not invest money. Third significance, you can say that John Maynard Keynes is the first person who identified the importance or significance of public sector for economic development. Or you can say he is the first person who gave more importance on role of government for economic development. I said previously that classical economists they believe that role of government should be less. Role of government should be only limited area, like as maintaining law and order, uh, for maintaining stability in the economy, for safe any country from aggression of other countries. So only few area like defense, maintaining law and order. Only this area government will look after. But in production side, look after by the private sector. But John Maynard Keynes said it, no, role of government will be more, and government also look after economic growth and economic development of the country, and for this reason government also should invest money. Challenges, as I said, that Keynes directly challenged the sales law of supply. Sales law of supply is the main theory of classical economists regarding the employment, and I said, Sayes said that supply creates its own demand. But Keynes just opposed this concept. He said that no, supply not creates its own demand. Demand creates its own supply. Just opposite he said. He said that if there is demand of goods in the market, then producer will produce product. So producer will produce product if only demand exists in the market. If there is no demand in the market, then producer will never produce that product. And regarding wage and price stickiness, so this is one important concept introduced by the Keynes. So Keynes also said that wage and price should not decline. It is very sticky. It will be increase or maybe stagnant, not decline. So Keynes said that in the economy, wage not decline. He gives many arguments regarding why wage not decline. He said that if wage decline, then productivity of worker also will be decline because the worker will not happy if wage decline. He also said that the labor union always oppose if wage decline. He also said that the government implement various minimum wage law. So it is not easy for declining wage. But classical economics said that if wage decline, then there will be more employment. So by reducing wage, employment level will be increased. But Keynes said that no. By reducing wage not possible due to these factors, like as productivity of worker will be declined, or we can say that due to minimum wage law, due to role of the labor union, it is not possible to decline wage, and employment level will be increased by increasing the effective demand. The last concept in this unit is the effective demand, the multiplier effect. I said previously, what is multiple effect? So multiple effect basically indicate effect of investment on output and employment, and it is basically positive. When investment increase in society, then output also increase, employment also will be increase, and it will be a continuous process. And I give you one simple example here how multiplier effect continue. Suppose government invest money, and any person earn 100 rupees through government, and out of 100 rupees, suppose he saved 10 rupees and 90 rupees is spent for purchasing goods from any shopkeeper. So out of 100 rupees, 10 rupees is kept and 90 rupees he used for purchasing goods from any shopkeeper. Then he gives 90 rupees to shopkeeper and purchase product. So this 90 rupees is the earning of the shopkeeper. Then what shopkeeper is doing, suppose shopkeeper keep 10% money with him, it means and remaining money is spent for purchasing goods from other person. So suppose out of 90 rupees, 7 rupees he keep, and then 83 rupees is spent for purchasing goods. Then from where he purchased goods, he give the 83 rupees. That person again keeps some money and remaining money is spent. So in this way, money will be generated continuously. So this is known as a multiplier. Government invest money one time on the 100, but it generates income again and again in the hand of the many people, and it will continue until the total amount of money is zero. It will continue. And multiplier can be easily measured by one simple formula. It is 1 minus MPC. So MPC here means marginal propensity to consume. So marginal propensity to consume basically means the tendency of the people that whatever income earned in terms of percentage, how much money is spent and how much money is saved. So if MPC is high, it means majority of income that person want to spend. And if MPC is low, it means majority of income we want to save, we do not want to spend. So multiplier effect is a new concept introduced by the Keynes, and due to multiple effect, we can say that employment will be increased in the economy, output in the economy also increase, economic growth, development, all will be increased. So in this way, I have completed and block number 2, and block 2 basically discuss about various theories of employment, the theories of classical economists of employment, theories of John Maynard Keynes of employment, all those things basically discussed in this block. So thank you, and these are the few questions like what is effective demand, define sales law of demand or sales law of supply. So it is the same thing we can say. So thank you, and in the next block, in block 3, we continue about the various types of investments, incentive and investment, all discussed in you can say in block 3. So basically block 3 also continuation of concept of John Maynard Keynes, other concept like Keynesian psychological law of consumptions, investment function concept. So all those things will be continue in block 3. So